It's one thing to say that there is no God, that you don't believe in God. But you see, when you start to speak lies against God, that is another story.
You were given irrefutable evidence that the God of the Bible is real, would you become a Christian?
I need to clarify this a little bit because depending upon your denomination, I was a Christian. I was a Roman Catholic, in fact. And before I answer the question, I'm basing everything on the knowledge of the Christian God as he has been described in the Bible. That being said, if you've seen our shows, you know we have a lot of hosts who are experts in various fields. We have people who are knowledgeable in science. We have people who are knowledgeable in philosophy, in history, and a lot of other topics that I could not even begin to address intelligently.
So let us get this straight, right? These people are so brilliant. They are so well learned and so well schooled that they don't need the Most High. Let's see, okay, God, we are schooled, we are philosophers, we are scientists, we are historians. Hey God, we use the brains you gave us, and we decided that you're no longer necessary. Your post has become redundant. So how about you pack up your desk, God? We don't need you. The heights of pride. The heights of pride. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Let's go on.
Religion, I believe Catholicism said that he was the husband of the church. I am a father, I am a husband. So I'd like to kind of compare and contrast the differences I feel exist between myself and this God.
Oh no, he didn't say that. He wants to compare and contrast differences between himself and the God of the Bible. Well, I think we've reached where we're going with this one. I don't even think I could, listen, proper English would not even justify how I feel about this statement right here. We reach where we're going. That is the day. We have arrived at our destination when a human being in flesh and blood, who has a beginning and an end, who is approaching the grave with every breath that we take. I'm not saying just he, every single human being, with every breath that we take, we are approaching the grave. You want to now come and compare and contrast. No, now you will need 1,000,000 lifetimes to even start. You have not even started to compare and contrast differences between yourself and the God of the Bible.
The Bible demands worship. In the 10 Commandments, the first few commandments are all about him because everything is about him. As a father and a husband, I actively discourage worship. I don't want my child to see me as this figure who can make no mistakes, who is perfect. I don't want worship, and I feel like any entity that demands worship is not worthy of being worshipped.
Everything is about him. Well, yes. Who else should it be about? If you look around, he created everything. Everything was created by him. Who else should it be about? Should it be about you? Every single thing was created by God. And how dare you, an imperfect being, compare yourself, your imperfection, to God's perfection? How dare you? Your child could never see you as perfect, nor anyone else, because human beings, we are imperfect beings. God is perfect. And if you had read the rest of the Bible, you would have seen that he is perfect. He is not becoming perfect. He's not on his way to be perfect. He is perfect. So you are a mere human being trying to compare your imperfection with God's perfection. And by that, you're determining now that God does not, he does not deserve to be worshipped. The heights, the heights, the heights of pride. Who else attacks God's worship? Who else from the beginning attacked worship of the Most High God? The one who wants that worship for himself. He sounds just like his father, the devil. The one who wants worship for himself. So, no, don't worship God. Worship me. Oh, yeah. Your day will come when you will get that chance to worship your own father.
The God of the Bible devalues women. The opinion of a man is worth 2 to 3 or sometimes 4. He talks about women cannot be in positions of authority. No woman is allowed to hold authority over a man or teach. I'm exactly the opposite, and I recognize the intrinsic value of my wife and my daughter as they are. I feel extremely lucky to have them in my life. They provide to me a quality of life that I don't feel like I would get otherwise.
You know, saying that there is no God is one thing. But when you see you want to open your mouth and tell lies against the Most High, that is another thing. God devalues women. Who created women? Did some other God in some other atmosphere or some other universe create women, and then God is like, oh, I only want men in my universe, so you can keep your women over there? He created them. He created us. He created us. How dare you? He came onto this earth via a woman. He could have just appeared. He's God. Look at the honor that he has given to a woman to come through the vessel of a woman. Would he devalue something and then come through that thing? Who was the first woman, with the first being, I should say, the first person to realize that Jesus was risen from the dead? A woman. It was a woman. How dare you? When Jesus was at the well, that woman, she had how many husbands? Well, as a matter of fact, none of them were her husband. But Jesus sat and he spoke with her and he said, I give living water. If he devalued women, he would think to himself, oh, this whore of a woman, I don't even need to speak with her. She's been living with all these men. He sat and he had a conversation with her to the point that he changed her life. She said, come and see a man that has told me about my life. The woman that was caught in adultery, she was going to be stoned by all of those men. Who came to her rescue? Huh? If he so devalued women, wouldn't he have said to those men, oh, stone her to death, that adulteress? Wouldn't he have said that? Wouldn't he have been justified? But he had mercy. Yeah, that's the God of the Bible. Rahab, the prostitute, direct lineage to the God of the Bible. A prostitute. It shows you that he went to the lowest of low. The lowest thing that a woman could do with her body is sell her body. And yet he did not despise that woman for being a prostitute. How dare you open your mouth and utter lies against the God of the Bible with a brazen face, with no shame whatsoever. You speak as though you know what you're speaking about. Oh, you better ask God to forgive you for speaking lies about him, because a day is coming when every word spoken against him, you will have to give an account. He is the one that created women. He is the one that he created us. How dare you tell women and tell everyone that he devalues women? Your daughter and your wife that you have, who gave them to you? Who gave you life so that you can have them? The same God of the Bible. The same God that you're speaking against right now. Huh? Oh my God.
God of the Bible uses threats to get what he wants, the biggest threat being that of hell. Do what I say, worship me, or you'll get eternal punishment. I, on the other hand, work to try to earn the respect and love of my family. I am in no way inclined to believe that I am better than them. In many ways, I am worse than them, but I think there is a kind of synergy that evolves. I have certain strengths, my family has certain strengths.
Speaking once again without knowledge of what you're saying. God uses, hey, God, God uses threats. God uses the threat of hell. You know what you're saying? Did you do any research before you started to speak? Do you know that every single human being that is born on his way to hell? Do you know that Jesus came into this world to stand in the way of man and hell? To open that bridge back from God to man so that we do not have to perish, because no man, no flesh, no blood could stand before the Most High, sinful as we are, without that blood covering us. Hell is not a threat that God uses to get worship. Hell is the destination of every man that does not repent. Hell is the destination of every man whose sins have not been covered, who refuse salvation, who say that the God of the Bible is this and he's that and he's this. So for that reason or for those reasons, we don't need him. We are brilliant enough. We don't need him. People who puff themselves up with pride. Oh, you have no idea that you have a real enemy who is working against you. And he loves when you say, I don't want nothing to do with the God of the Bible. He loves it when you say that. He loves it. Because that's your only way out. God is your only way out. The God of the Bible is your only way out. And there you are saying you want nothing to do with him. Well, you're embracing your enemy. You run into his arms. It's just that that embrace is an embrace of destruction, death and destruction. There's a way that seems right unto a man, but at the end thereof, there is only death and destruction. The devil has nothing good in store for you. I pray you don't have to find out, because even though you've said so many vile things against the Most High God, even he would not want you to taste hell. Human beings, that place, we are not compatible with that place. That's why Jesus came to this earth. When we say Jesus came to save us, what do you think he came to save us from? You think it was just, there was nothing? You think it was nothing to save us from? He came to save us from destruction. And here you are seeing that God says that if you don't worship him, he's going to throw you into hell. Another lie. Another lie against the Most High God. Oh my God. You need to ask God to forgive you for these lies. This is very serious. This is very serious.
I want. God of the Bible discourages knowledge. In many passages in the Bible, knowledge is a terrible thing not to be achieved. Faith in itself is that denial of achieving knowledge. I, on the other hand, highly encourage both my wife and my daughter at every point. If there's an educational topic that they're interested in, I want them to explore it. I want them to gain the knowledge, because it is one of the things that I feel is most discouraged, especially in the current. Knowledge is looked upon as a bad thing. Just believe, just have the faith.
Well, Daisy, that's it. Just believe, just have faith. God discourages knowledge. The God who created so many things in this world, he has given King Solomon so much knowledge, so much understanding, so much wisdom, even beyond all the kings that went before him. He has created a world that made it possible for us to discover, to explore, to learn, to comprehend our surroundings via science, via music, via language, via art. But here you are saying that he's He discourages knowledge. Another lie. He says there are many Bible Lord Jesus, have mercy and help me with this, please. He says there are many verses in the Bible where God discourages knowledge. Well, I have so many that show otherwise. Proverbs 18:15, the heart of the prudent gets knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. Proverbs 2:1-2, my son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thine heart unto understanding. Proverbs 2:6, for the Lord gives wisdom, out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 15:14, the heart of him that has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on foolishness. Proverbs 25, or is it 20:15? There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Proverbs 1:5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. James 1:5, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that gives to all men liberally, and it shall be given unto him. Okay, let me check my French Bible and see if there was something different in there. Okay, it says, écoute les leçons de la sagesse, efforce-toi de les comprendre. Okay, let me check my Dutch Bible. Okay, laat wie wijs is goed naar deze spreuken luisteren en nog wijzer worden. Okay, it's the same. Let me check my Spanish Bible. El corazón del entendido adquiere sabiduría y el oído de los sabios busca la ciencia. So, I don't know where he's getting this from. I don't know where he's getting this information from. Where is he getting this information about God not wanting people to seek after knowledge? It's just another lie. And again, I would ask you to ask the Most High to forgive you. Humble yourself. You have allowed pride to enter into your heart, just like the devil. And you've now accused God of things that are simply untrue.
My last comparison is that the God of the Bible leads by command. He has an entire book full of his commands that says what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how you should treat certain people, how you can take other people and make them your slaves, how you can kill other people simply because they don't believe what you believe. I, on the other hand, try to lead, and I'm using the word lead a little more loosely, but I try to lead by example. I don't feel that I can require any more goodness out of people than I am willing to display myself. And I feel like that is something that has paid dividends for me.
So the God of the Bible has a book of laws by which we must live, and that is a problem. I wonder why. I wonder why it's a problem to have laws. Name me a nation. Name me a country that has absolutely no laws. You can just go there, you can do what you want. You can even enter their country with no documents. You announce your, you don't even have to announce yourself. You just fly in, you just pass through customs and immigration. You don't have to ask, and nobody, you have to answer no questions because there are no laws. Name me a nation that has no laws regarding anything. You know what is the opposite of laws? Lawlessness. Do as thou wilt. Whose motto is that? Whose motto is do as thou wilt? That's the opposite of having laws. And be very careful before you jump on that bandwagon where everyone likes to accuse God of that slavery and all of that. Do your research before you jump on that bandwagon. Grasping at straws mixed all with your own opinion and who you are. Could you imagine this? Comparing himself. I would do this and I would do that. But look at how God is doing it. Excuse me? You better know who you're talking about. The Most High is not one of your colleagues that you rub shoulders with in one of your universities or your colleges or wherever else you went. He's not one of your professors. He's the one who has given life to every single human being on this earth, as well as every single being on this earth, because there are also beings on this earth that are not humans. And that does not, depend on whether you believe it or not. It is. It is. There are beings on the earth that are not humans. He gives life to all of them, all of us. This is the one you're talking about as though he is your pair. So you could compare and contrast between God and yourself, because you went to school with God. Huh? Your teacher and God's teacher were the same. How dare you? Oh man, you really need to humble yourself. You need to humble
To kind of
yourself.
wrap things up and to change the question a little bit, if I was given irrefutable evidence that the God of the Bible was real, would I become a Christian again? No, for one simple reason, and that's because I refuse to participate in a religion whose deity is more of an ass than I am.
You heard that? You heard those words? There's something about man giving his mouth liberty, free reign to say as he pleases, because he believes that there are no consequences for my words. There are consequences for different things in this world, but for my words, there are no consequences. I'll tell you a true story of someone who I knew as a child, and she was known to be someone to give her mouth a lot of liberty. A lot of liberty. One day she was heading to someone's funeral, someone's homegoing service. And she was speeding heading to that funeral. She was late. And on her way, she got into an accident. And she died on the spot. And do you know what they found on the dashboard of her vehicle? Her tongue. They found her tongue. Continue to give your mouth all the liberty that you feel. You can just speak anything against the Most High God. You can speak about him as though you are up here and he's down there. You have numbered days on the earth. All of us do. With every breath that we take, we are one breath closer to the end of our lives. God is not waiting for you to believe him into existence. Whether or not you believe, he is. He is. And here you are speaking about him as though he cannot hear. He who planted the air, shall he not hear? He heard every word that you said. And you are guilty of every word that you said. I am begging you, don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to your deceitful heart. Humble yourself before that final moment of your life. Humble yourself before that final minute of your life. You cannot compare and contrast yourself with the Most High God. For comparison, okay, let's see. 3 days after Jesus died, he rose from the dead. What would we see if we passed by your grave 3 days after? Would you still be there? You cannot begin, I said you cannot begin to compare and contrast differences between yourself and the Most High God. How the father of lies, the way that he gets people. When he gets people, he gets them really, really well to say whatever he would have them to say. The devil is real, huh? It's a pity you don't know that. God is real. and the devil is real. And one day, you will find yourself in the presence of one of these, and you will find yourself spending eternity with one of these. If you choose to do it with the devil, I hope you'll be satisfied with your choice. I can tell you right now you won't, but hey, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Eternity is not optional. One day, we will find ourselves either before the great white throne judgment or the judgment seat of Christ. One is for believers, the other is for non-believers. And at that time, it will be too late. You will have already decided that you want nothing to do with God for the rest of your eternity. You either listen to a man who is going down to the grave, or you listen to the one who came out of it. You are the one that has to choose for your eternity and your soul. Choose life. Till next time, choose life.